Wagwan guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I cannot complain myself. Interesting video I have for you guys on today. We're talking about Tahari Jose, right? She's made a statement about 50-50 relationships, and it's interesting. It's caught people's eyes mainly because she is a TV personality. She was most notably known for her relationship with Joe Budden, which aired on Love and Hip Hop. Right. Very popular TV show. I've watched it, and some of that stuff was so hard to watch. I'm not even lying to you. Some of that stuff was very hard to watch. And I did not know how people could sit through those episodes and watch it. Like, seriously, I had to literally, I couldn't do it. I could not. It was uneasy. Maybe you had to like get comfortable and watch it a few times by yourself to kind of, you know what I'm saying? But it was really like off the cuff to me. And I have a video clip. I'm gonna play the video clip of her expressing like the way she feels. Now, the reason why I even bring that up, right? I know I'm cutting too very quickly, but the reason I bring that up is because if you've seen her attitude, she was super like gauged, if I can say that, right? She was fiery. She most notably known, I believe, she rejected Joe Budden's proposal. They had a relationship. I believe the relationship may have been on the rocks, right? On the rocks. But it was like super edgy. I remember it was a lot of drama back then. You're right. It was a lot of drama. I remember Joe Budden dropping some music. He even put some music behind it. That was, you know what I'm saying? That was jamming. I think, like, I remember, I was like, dang, Joe Budden got some bars. I'm not even like fronting, you know what I'm saying? But it was a lot. It was a lot going on, right? And if you look, she was able to do interviews, right? And she's known for her relationship with Joe Budden's. And it was yeah, man, it was just super interesting. Super interesting. That's what caught my eye when I seen that clip, right? Because I talked about 50-50 relationships in the past, and you know what? 50-50 is a good deal. I think that's a good deal. Now, when you're gonna get spun, you know what I'm saying? If you're just like basically you're not able to have a relationship and you're trying to overstep your bounds and what you can actually do in a relationship that's going to be feasible, that you're going to actually be able, mathematically it'll make sense for you, where you won't be spending more than you earn, right? You won't be doing that. And some relationships it works, some relationship it doesn't, where a person may be asking more than what you can give, and that's where, on a consistent basis, and that's where, you know, it's going to be some confusion, some disconnect there. And but for the most part, I'll say this really quick. For the most part, I know a relationship is not going to be 50-50. I know it. It's going to be 60-40, 80-20. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be somewhere in that range. Or, you know, it may vary. Okay. So my whole thing is, you know, it's like, do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. You hear about some guys, and man, you're like, man, these dudes have like the best relationship. The chick's hot. I mean, she's like, you know, she looks nice. Excuse me, loving family, kids, everything, the nice house. And then like you figure out like, you know, they're in way over their heads. Like, you know, it's credit card debt up to their eyes. I mean, half of this stuff they don't even own. You know what I'm saying? The interest rates on this is just ridiculous. You know, there's a lien on the third house that they don't own. You know what I'm saying? Their vacation. I mean, it's ton of stuff. Okay, it's just a ton. And you know, that's where my concern comes in. That's where my concern comes in, right? You know, but anywho, Tahari, that's a little bit about her. But Tahari, she basically is a barber too. She's a barber. I don't know if I told you that. She's a barber as well. You know, which I think, hey, you know, picking up different skills, I think that's very good. But more or less, this is the main point I'm trying to get to here. Right. She's talking about, and you know what the interesting thing about it is, I think I don't know what it was called, some like ink, Miami ink, Chicago ink, black ink, whatever it was, right? I think Caesar, he was the dude that was a part of that whole black ink crew or whatever. That was another show that was popping. They didn't cut hair, however, they was giving tattoos, right? But it was a lot of violence. It was super about relationships. If you wasn't a relationship, you was a baddie, and you was going on a baddies, you know, tour or whatever. Baddies Mexico or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was, reality TV was super popping at still is, but at that point in time it was beyond new. It was beyond new. And then like you was just seeing faces out there, and it was like that. I mean, that was the thing. You like, seriously, stemming from the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, right? That's like, and that was a saying, right? Like Keeping Up with the Joneses, and then like they switched it and made it Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So that was just like a crazy play on words right there, right? But you've seen a lifestyle, reality TV, which, you know, and the whole argument of how real is reality TV, is this pre-planned or whatever. Anywho, she makes a video and she's talking about why is it okay to go, why she's okay to go 50-50 in a relationship. I'm gonna play the video for you and I'll let you hear it.
The older I get, the more I realize, you know what, Tahiri, 50-50 is not such a bad idea. See, when I was younger, I used to think that if a man didn't pay for everything, that he wasn't worth it. But now I realize that one person carrying a whole relationship isn't love, y'all. There's a lot of pressure. And that kind of pressure could drain a good man's light, a good man's energy. See, I no longer want a sponsor. I want a partner. It's not always about the money. It's about the effort, communication, and peace. See, I still want to get spoiled, don't get me wrong. But the sexiest thing in a relationship is teamwork. Guys, I've woken up.
I got to be 100, right? I'm happy she can now agree and she can say, you know what? 50-50 relationships where man and woman are coming together as a union, creating a union between the two, marrying those two together to form a marriage between the two, right? She has come to the consensus that now with age, that is the correct thing to do. Yes, that has to be done anyway, right? Regardless of the situation, it cannot be that this guy is giving everything or this vice versa, right? It has to be a compromise. It has to be some type of an agreement, right? It has to be an agreement between the two. So it has to be some type of cooperation, right? That's really when you look at it. Okay. But I'm glad that she says it. But you know, it's coming to a reality where you can understand that idea situation where someone's going to be able, right, to do those things, right? very serious. Okay, very serious. That's a touchy topic where, you know, everybody will want to be able to, right, completely take care of their partner, but just, I mean, it's just completely not feasible, not possible for, I mean, the majority of marriages when you really look at it, right? And I say that not to judge like with a heavy hand. I have some numbers here. Most 55.6% of married households earn over $100K annually, right? So they earn over $100,000 annually. And I got another stat here saying the average income for a married couple is around 146. Now, yes, that's a lot of money, right? We can all say that's a lot of money. Yeah, it is a lot of money, right? But I mean, let's be real. It's not gonna be. Oh, it's probably gonna be a lot of people, but definitely not every marriage, right? So we can get that together now. It's not gonna be every marriage that dynamic is gonna be at play here. Okay, it's just one of those things, right? It's just one of those things. But it's sad that, you know, a woman has to come to grips with that. It's sad, man. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, dude. Because as a man, right, you want to be able to provide, right? You want to be able to provide. Okay. You want to. That's something that you want to do, right? And let's just touch on this really quickly. Tahari Jose has been open about the abuse she allegedly endured during her past relationship with Joe Budden, claiming he broke her nose and a rib. This is just what I found on Google. I don't know how true this is, but stemming from past relationships, she has, and Joe Budden is making money where he could possibly do those things. He could afford that, especially with his newfound success with his podcast and prior engagements that are reoccurring sources of income for him still to today that he's benefiting off of. I forgot the word to use to shorten that up, but you get what I'm saying, right? Residuals, right? I think that's what it's called, residuals, right? Residual checks. But and I got an article here too, if this makes any more sense for you. Got an article here, and these are just some reasons, well, not necessarily an article, but these are just listing some reasons why 50-50 relationships, the 50-50 model doesn't work, right? It creates scorekeeping. Life isn't always equal. It leads to resentment. It shifts focus from us to me. What works instead, right? Fairness over equality. You want it to be equal, but sometimes, that's a good way of putting it, I'll say. Okay. Reciprocity over time. Okay. Contributing balance out over the long term, not necessarily moment to moment. Okay. Let's just get up here. All right. This is more or less why 50-50 fails. 50-50 relationship often fail because a rigid focus on equal division leads to resentment, scorekeeping, and competition rather than teamwork, especially when life demands flexibility instead of perfect balance. Healthy relationships thrive on 100 contribution, each giving their all when needed, and reciprocity over time, allowing partners to support each other through life's unpredictable seasons where one person naturally carries more weight. Now that's a key thing, right? Okay, because it's just where, like, you know, we're talking about rights. Whereas one person rights end, where there's another person rights begin. You know, you have a woman's naturally gonna carry the child. She's gonna be with child, so just different duties of and the dynamics in a relationship. You may have some woman where she wants to work, right? She has the ability to earn and, you know, a livable wage, and she wants to make and earn that money, and she wants to live a professional work life, right? She wants to it's individuals that can do that. So I understand how every relationship, every dynamic of a relationship is going to be different. I can understand the ebbs and flows of that, but for the most part, you know, I can agree. Like, I'm totally in agreement with what Tahari is saying, right? But in her defense, as a woman, I'm trying to say, like, it's just a little sad that, you know, people come to those terms. It's reality, right? It's reality. You know, don't get too down on yourself. You know, if you in a situation, right, where, you know, hey, bills are paid. If you could pay the bills, be happy for that. I think that's a must. You should be able to pay for the roof over you guys' head. I mean, come on, guys. This is getting ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to do that, right? But I understand. I completely understand. Right? But those are the basics that need to kind of be taken care of, right? And we're not even talking about the dimensions of the house and what you guys. We're not even talking about that. Whose car? It needs to be more than one car in the house. It's a lot of things, you know, when you're just talking about marriage, you know, and then you really start looking into that conversation about 50-50, and you really start looking at the numbers. It's, I mean, it's, and you know, it could, hey man, it could start looking really bleak. I would say that. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll be back. I'll see you guys later. Ciao.